Right. Is this right here? Is that right? Is that doing it right? Is it on there? Alright. Alright, so welcome to another episode of Fictional Fracas where we do book reviews. And I'm going to do a book review on this book here. It's called Dune. And it's a fucking huge book. Look at that. It's like a fucking Bible. It's like a sci-fi Bible. Dune was written in a long time ago, like in the 50s, I think. Copyright 1965. That's a fucking old book. Written before a lot of sci-fi, and it has a lot of sci-fi precursors in it, like things that came out in Star Wars are like in this book, like using the voice is in this. Using the voice, which is thing, it's like a thing where you manipulate others by talking. Dune is written by Frank Herbert, who wrote a bunch of books called Dune books, and they take place in the sand in a place called Dune, or aka Arrakis. They made a movie recently about it. It's a good book, and it's a good movie. You should read it. The book is about Paul Atreides, who is a child of another guy whose last name is Atreides, and whose mother is a Bene Gesserit witch. So he's like a child of a king, and whose mother is a whore, I suppose. His mother's kind of a whore. But she's a witchly whore. So it makes it alright because she's got powers and stuff. But they get betrayed by the Emperor, and then they have to like become friends with the native people of Arrakis, the native Dune people who live in the sand and come out sometimes. So they come out to the sand, and then they fight these people who've come in to steal their drugs, because they smoke spice and snort it and inject it, and they do drugs, and it's called spice, and it's like DMT cinnamon. So they do drugs, and they come out of the sand. They're called Fremen, which is like, you take the word free man, and because they're like free people, because tribal people are more free than city people. And you take the E out, and you no longer have an E, and then you just have Fremen. So the Sun people are known as Fremen. And then if you take enough spice and you're really fucking spicy, then you can predict the future. And if you can predict the future, then you can like know what's going to happen, and then you can like rule the world and the other worlds, because there's like a few planets that people live on in this. And if you can control the spice, then you can control space travel, because you have to be able to predict the future to space travel. And so all of the interplanetary trade and commerce relies on it. And so it's cool that they do it, and they take over the Atreides son, and he takes over the planet by the end of it. I guess that's giving it away, but with the movie out, I feel like everybody's seen it, but you should read the book instead of watching the movie. Like, fuck the movie. It's a really good movie. It's just, it doesn't really capture what's in the book, because what's in the book is really subtle interactions between characters and really in-depth relationships, and also really a lot of world building that's in the book that's not in the movie. So I recommend reading Dune before you watch the movie, but if you've already seen the movie, then read the book, because it'll give you a ton of context and a ton of really interesting words to read, because he makes shit up in this. He like makes up words, and it's really, really kind of dense and difficult to read. But it's really good, and it's really interesting, and it's about sand and spice and hallucinations, and about power and governments and like stuff you can relate to. So definitely go read the original Dune book by Frank Herbert, because it's a good long fucking book that will help you know what's going on in the upcoming movies that come out, because there's like Dune 2 is also about the last part of this book. So there's 2 movies, 1 book, and then there's going to be another movie about the next book. I think I have it right here. It's like one of these ones, Dune Messiah, I think. So make sure to buy it using my affiliate link in the description, so that Amazon knows that you saw my review. But definitely just do that instead of borrowing it, or getting it from some other source like Barnes and Noble, or from getting it at like a local store. Make sure to buy it online using my affiliate link. And so I think that's going to do it. Thanks for watching, and yeah, goodbye.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Fictional Fracas YouTube channel. I'm Joe. I'm still fucking Joe right here. Alright, today I'm going to talk about Dune Messiah. I already did one on Dune, and Dune's a great book, you know. So Dune is also a movie, and there's 2 of them, but they're going to make another movie called Dune Messiah. I don't know what it's fucking called, but they're gonna make a movie, and it's gonna be about this book right here. And so I think you should get to know this book, and it's number 2 in the Dune series, so check it out. Dune Messiah takes place like 12 years after the events of Dune, and Paul has become the ruler of the universe. And so like his religious jihad that he worried about happened, and everybody like Fremen and everybody is running around the worlds, around the different planets, and they're killing everybody who doesn't fucking obey him. They're killing everybody who doesn't fit into the regime. And so like billions have died, and Paul feels like pretty conflicted about it, but he has prescience, so he sees the future, so he knows that like the way that he's doing things is probably the right way. In Dune Messiah, he ends up getting married to the Princess Irulian, Princess Irulian, and but he still likes Johnny, even though like in the movie she's all pissy about it, but in the book she's like loves him. And so in this book, he ends up trying to have kids with Johnny, and he won't have sex with Princess Irulian. And so he, but for some reason, Johnny won't get pregnant, or it's not that she won't, it's like she can't get pregnant, and he doesn't know why. But you find out later that it's all being sabotaged. So Paul has enemies like all around him, and even people in the Fremen group are trying to get him, and people all over like the Bene Gesserit and the Tleilaxu, who's like a group of really technologically advanced folks are trying to get him. And there's like plots and things, and he's almost assassinated and such things like that. But at some point in the book, Paul ends up being right next to an atomic bomb that goes off right near him, and it's huge, and it fucking is so blinding that it literally destroys his eyes. But because Paul has prescience, because Paul can see the future, he can even see himself. in the future and all the way up to now. So he can actually kind of prove that he can see without eyes, which only makes him even more godlike to people, and people revere him even more. Soon enough, Chani ends up actually getting pregnant, and they end up having twins. They have a little boy named Leto and a little girl named Ganima. But what's weird is that they both actually have the same Kwisatz Haderach kind of powers, in that they actually have the minds of their ancestors, both male and female, which is different from the Bene Gesserit people. So they essentially are like grown-ups the second they're born, and they can communicate like grown-ups, and they know things, and they're like a little schizophrenic, I suppose. But so they have the babies, and what's weird is that the little baby boy Leto is in the crib, and someone named Skytail is trying to assassinate Paul, but Paul can somehow see through the eyes of his son, and that allows him to see the assassin coming, and he ends up throwing a dagger real fucking good at him. And that fucking is like one of the last things that Paul does to secure his family's reign. But after that, and after the babies are born and all that, Paul ends up losing his ability to see the future. And so because he's kind of useless, and because he's kind of hated and regarded, and he's kind of feeling bad about all the deaths that he essentially caused by being so fucking cool, that he ends up becoming an outcast, and not like the band Outcast with the fucking hey ya and stuff. He ends up just kind of going into the desert alone, and somehow, like, you know, becomes, you know, some kind of weirdo out there. So then his Paul's sister Alia ends up taking charge of the children, and she also becomes kind of regent, kind of a queen, and so she's kind of in charge until the children get older. And then in the next book, Dune, Children of Dune, the children grow up, and then we start to learn about them. So that's after this book. So since the movie's coming out soon, I recommend picking up this book. Make sure to use my affiliate link if you want to pick it up, and read it so that you have some context. They've shown some quick little snippets from the new movie. The movies are pretty good, but they miss out on a lot of context and a lot of details, and they sort of speed everything up. I'm not sure how they're gonna get this whole book into a fucking movie, or maybe they'll break it up, and who knows if they're gonna keep making movies. The fucking entire series goes across like thousands of years, so it's kind of tough to turn that into like fucking little movies. I wish they had made like a long ass series and really delved into everything, but maybe they'll do that someday. I think there's even like a prequel show out there on Max, but anyway, I haven't watched that yet. It's not fucking canon if Frank Herbert didn't write it. So anyway, Dune Messiah, written by Frank Herbert, is a great book, definitely an important one for the series, and I definitely recommend going out and picking it up and reading it. If you want to read the full review that I wrote for this book or other books or other Dune books, go to joesnotesblog.com and check it out. Make sure to like, subscribe, do all that stuff so you can find out more books to read, and they're great and they're fun and you'll like them. Alright, thank you very much. Goodbye. Dune Matemo.
Ahoy, mateys, my name be Joe, and this is another episode of the Fictional Fracas YouTube channel. Alright, in this here episode, we're gonna be talking about this book here, Children of Dune by Frank Herbert. I think I keep reading these books, these Dune books, because they offer me mind and exercise. The writing is so poetic and ethereal that it takes me to another world. Frank Herbert's unique voice and one-of-a-kind tone are hypnotizing to me ears. The whole experience is like grasping at a dream. Every step of the way gets you closer and closer, and yet it takes you farther away every time. Toward what? I don't fucking know. Maybe towards the golden path. Maybe. In this, the third of the epic Dune series, we follow the story of Paul Atreides' twin children, Ganima and Leto Jr. These are not your average fucking children. They were conscious inside the womb and have the memories of thousands of people, including their mothers, fathers, grandfathers, grandmothers, cousins. You get the point. The key to this is a combination of genetic manipulation and thousands of years of breeding programs and a high dose of melange. The addictive spice substance that is right there. It's orange, I think. Maybe blue. Probably blue. The addictive substance that in the right circumstance can unlock the secrets of consciousness and time. Ganima and Leto are the heirs to the empire that their father left them. That's right. Before Ganima and Leto can take the throne, they have to contend with everyone thinking they are the age they look. But they fucking aren't. As well as their aunt Alia, who is the regent in control of the empire and doesn't want to give it up. As well as a growing plot from the Carino family, who was displaced by Paul Atreides when he took over Arrakis in the first book. As a fight for the Empire rages on, a new threat emerges from the sand. A threat that is destroying the infrastructure that has brought water to the desert planet and is creating a new mythology. Is it a god or just another passing contender? If ye like epic sci-fi worlds with fantasy elements and can handle diving into this crazy world that Frank Herbert has created, then I definitely recommend this. You definitely should read books 1 and 2 first, because they're fucking before it, and it'll make more sense. So read Dune, then read Dune Messiah, and then read Children of Dune, about the little kids and whatnot. The series is like the addictive melange spice itself. While it might be confusing at times, its allure is undeniable. So that's gonna do it for me book review of the Children of Dune by Frank Herbert. Definitely a good book. Real cool. And, epic and whatnot. Hard to fucking understand, mostly. But you can get through it. Make sure to check out my other reviews at joesnotesblog.com and like and subscribe. Comment down below what's your favorite book. What's your favorite Dune book? Yeah, that's a good one. Make sure to go to me link in the description and get your copy from Amazon. Har! Ahoy! That's the right word there. I remember now. They talk like that and I got ahoys everywhere. Talk out to the left side of me mouth, cause I fucking can. I'm gonna do a fucking book review here. I know I'm so fucking angry now. I'm just gonna say bunches. Bunches of R's. Right. The sea bitch took me eye, and that's fucking why I have this thing here. Lost it to the sea, bitch. You know, we were out at sea and, someone was not paying attention and then a fucking thing hit it. It wasn't that special. It wasn't that special. Just fucking bad luck. Oh, blimey, depth perception be gone. Sometimes you go to bed with a she shanty and wake up with a he shanty. if you know what I mean. Yeah. If you can get through this book, you can get through the high seas and the storms beyond, and having you buggers. You bugger, you lamb buggers, land blubbers. Moby Dick and whatnot. Sorry for all the cussing. I grew up without a mother. Or a father. They both died to the sea bitch itself. Everyone dies to the sea bitch in my world. It's fucking tragic, really. I don't even fucking need it. Mine's fine. That's bright. The light's right on me eyes there. The light. Hey, look at that. Ooh, there she blows. There she blows. Right into me eyes. Put that light away. It's too bright in me eyes. Oh, put that over me ears. It's cold in here. Shiver me timbers and button down the hatches. Button them down too. I don't care. Put me buttons in the hatches and button me breeches and chocolate cheese. Arr. What else could I say? It's a good book. Where the fuck did I put? I can't see out of my fucking left eye. Ow. Fuck my fucking balls. Oh no. I hope this was all recorded in the cameras.
The following is from the Hadi Benotto translation of the volumes discovered at Dar es Balat. You know Dar es Balat. It's a very important place, supposedly. And so I read. I was born Leto Atreides II more than 3,000 standard years ago, measuring from the moment when I caused these words to be printed. My father was Paul Muad'Dib. My mother was his Fremen consort, Chani. My maternal grandmother was Farula, a noted herbalist among the Fremen. My parental grandmother was Jessica, a product of the Bene Gesserit breeding scheme in their search for a male who could share the powers of the sisterhood's reverend mothers. My maternal grandfather was Liet Kynes, the planetologist who organised the ecological transformation of Arrakis. My paternal grandfather was the Atreides, descendant of the house of Atreus, and tracing his ancestry directly back to the Greek original. Enough of these bagats. My paternal grandfather died as many good Greeks did, attempting to kill his mortal enemy, the old Baron Vladimir Harkonnen. Both of them rest uncomfortably now in my ancestral memories. Even my father is not content. I have done what he feared to do, and now his shade must share in the consequences. The golden path demands it. And what is the golden path, you ask? It is the survival of humankind, nothing more nor less. We who have prescience, we who know the pitfalls of our human futures, this has always been our responsibility. Survival. How you feel about this, your petty woes and joys, even your agonies and raptures, seldom concern us. My father had this power. I have it stronger. We can peer now and again through the veils of time. This planet of Arrakis from which I direct my multi-galactic empire is no longer what it was in the days when it was known as Dune. In those days, the entire planet was a desert. Now there is just this little remnant, my Sarir. No longer does the giant sandworm roam free, producing the spice melange. The spice. Dune was noteworthy only as the source of melange, the only source. What an extraordinary substance. No laboratory has ever been able to duplicate it. And it is the most valuable substance humankind has ever found. Without melange to ignite the linear prescience of guild navigators, people cross the parsecs of space only at a snail's crawl. Without melange, the Bene Gesserit cannot endow truthsayers or reverend mothers. Without the geriatric properties of melange, people live and die according to the ancient measure, no more than 100 years or so. Now, the only spice is held in guild and Bene Gesserit storehouses. A few small hordes among the remnants of the great houses, and my gigantic horde which they all covet. How they would like to raid me. But they don't dare. They know I would destroy it all before surrendering it. No, they come hat in hand and petition me for melange. I said it weird. No, they come hat in hand and petition me for melange. I dole it out as a reward and hold it back as punishment. How they hate that. It is my power, I tell them. It is my gift. With it I create peace. They have had more than 3,000 years of Leto's peace. It is an enforced tranquility which humankind knew only for the briefest periods before ascendancy. Lest you have forgotten, study Leto's peace once more in these my journals. I began this account in the first year of my stewardship, in the first throes of my metamorphosis, when I was still mostly human, even visibly so. The sand-trout skin which I accepted and my father refused, and which gave me greatly amplified strength plus virtual immunity from conventional attack and aging. That skin still covered a form recognizably human. 2 legs, 2 arms, a human face framed in the scrolled folds of the sand-trout. Ah, that face. I still have it. The only human skin I exposed to the universe. All the rest of my flesh has remained covered by the linked bodies of those tiny deep sand vectors which one day can become giant sandworms. As they will someday. Alright, that is an excerpt from God Emperor of Dune. Not quite the very beginning, but the whole thing is kind of told as a history written and translated through his journals, and that's how we know what happened. God Emperor of Dune is written by Frank Herbert. It's the 4th in the series, and it's probably my favourite. I like God Emperor of Dune because instead of telling a bunch of different stories about a bunch of different powerful people trying to take over and manipulate, it's about one main powerful agent, the Leto Atreides II. Instead of a lot of different stories being told parallel, it's a story that's being told from the center out. So it's about all these different occurrences that all have to do with the god Emperor. And he looks like a fucking sandworm with a face, I suppose. So it's definitely a great book, and there's lots of people plotting against him because he's essentially just kind of does whatever he wants. And some groups side with him and they trust him just like any god, and some groups oppose him, including people from his own family line. Her name's Siona. But he can see into the future, and so he kind of knows what's going to happen at the end. So he's not afraid of all of the plots. He's not afraid of it. He's just trying to balance his ability to understand the future and take the right actions in the present to make what he wants happen. And what he wants to happen is a thing called the Golden Path, and he's working on that. It's kind of funny, there's a thing in Far Cry 4 called the Golden Path too. It's very similar. Not really. I'm going to read the back of the book real quick here. That way you can get a little bit more. Essentially, if you've been reading Dune, just keep reading Dune, you know. That's great. I don't know if the movies will ever get this far, but if they do, you know, hopefully this doesn't fucking spoil anything because it kind of gets ahead of it. All right, this is the back here. Millennia have passed on Arrakis, and the once desert planet is green with life. Leto Atreides, the son of the world's savior, the Emperor Paul Muad'Dib, is still alive but far from human. To preserve humanity's future, he sacrificed his own by merging with a sandworm, granting him near immortality as God Emperor of Dune for the past 3,500 years. Leto's rule is not a benevolent one. His transformation has made not only his appearance, but his morality inhuman. A rebellion led by Siona, a member of the Atreides family, has risen to oppose the despot's rule. But Siona is unaware that Leto's vision of a golden path for humanity requires her to fulfill a destiny she never wanted or could possibly conceive. Alright, so definitely check out God Emperor of Dune. Check out my links in the description if you want to buy it. If you want to read more book reviews and you want to read the whole book review, there'll be a link as well. But you can go to joesnotesblog.com and check those out. Got lots of reviews, lots of different books. And I also reviewed the rest of the books there. Make sure to like and subscribe. Alright, thank you for checking this out, and I'll see you next time. This whole thing's going to be done in this accent right here, so you better get used to it. You better get fucking used to it. The whole Dune thing like that. Fucking hey. And do that, Jan. You know, that'd be great. That'd be fucking special if you did that. Right. And make sure, oh fuck me. Dude, you fucking stupid. Cut, check. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Fictional Fracas YouTube channel. I'm Joe, and in this episode we're going to be doing a review of this book right here, Heretics of Dune by Frank Herbert. So stay tuned, and thanks for joining me. Alright, first I'm going to read just a quick excerpt, just a few paragraphs from the first chapter, and I read right now. Most discipline is hidden discipline, designed not to liberate but to limit. Do not ask why. Be cautious with how. Why leads inexorably to paradox. How traps you in a universe of cause and effect. Both deny the infinite. That is from the Apocrypha of Arrakis. It's right there. It's the wee little thing in front there. Right. Teresa told you, did she not, that we have gone through 11 of these Duncan, Idaho Golas. This one is the 12th. The old Reverend Mother Xuing-Yu spoke with deliberate bitterness as she looked down from the third-story parapet at the lone child playing on the enclosed lawn. The planet Gamu's bright midday sunlight bounced off the white courtyard walls, filling the area beneath them with brilliance, as though a spotlight had been directed onto the young Gola. Gone through, the Reverend Mother Lucilla thought. She allowed herself a short nod, thinking how coldly impersonal were Xuing-Yu's manner and choice of words. We have used up our supply, send us more. The child on the lawn appeared to be about 12 standard years of age, but appearance could be deceptive with a Gola not yet awakened to his original memories. The child took that moment to look up at the watchers above him. He was a sturdy figure with a direct gaze that focused intently from beneath a black cap of Kerkul hair. The yellow sunlight of early spring cast a small shadow at his feet. His skin was darkly tanned, but a slight movement of his body shifted his blue single suit, revealing pale skin at the left shoulder. Not only are these Golas costly, but they are supremely dangerous to us, Xuing-Yu said. Her voice came out flat and emotionless, all the more powerful because of that. It was the voice of a reverend mother instructor speaking down to an acolyte, and it emphasized for Lucilla that Xing Yu was one of those who protested openly against the Gola project. Teresa had warned, she will try to win you over. As in, like trying to get you to not like this stuff. 11 failures are enough, Xing Yu said. Lucilla glanced at Xing Yu's wrinkled features, thinking suddenly, someday I may be old and wizened too, and perhaps I will be a power and the Bene Gesserit as well. Alright, that's just the very beginning of Heretics of Dune. So this is my review of this book in full. Heretics of Dune is the 5th entry into the epic Dune saga, and boy, this one was difficult to get into. Heretics takes place 1500 years or so after the events of God Emperor of Dune, and all the main characters are long dead, but they are not forgotten. The prophecies and prognostications of Leto II are still at the heart of everything that moves human activity. With the God Emperor's death, humanity lacked direction and took to exploring new parts of the universe. This is called the scattering. And from the splintered pieces come new and powerful factions that are returning to the old realms to take power away from those that have ruled since the tyrant's long plunge into the watery grave he accepted. The Bene Gesserit, Tleilaxu, Ix and Fish Speakers are all part of the old world and continue to compete for dominance over the most powerful resources, melange and information. Now that melange can be made synthetically by the Tleilaxu, the planet known as Dune Arrakis, and now simply known as Arrakis, the sandworms that create the original spice are not the only resource that is being fought over. It is still completely vital, but so is knowledge. How do the Tleilaxu make their version of melange? How do they create and manipulate their Gola clones? How does the new Duncan play into all this? Who controls the diary passed down by the God King Leto II, and what does it say about the future? And who is the young girl who can speak to and control sandworms? Sheena, a peasant girl whose entire family was killed by sandworms, can summon even the largest of sandworms, speak to them, and somehow hear their psychokinetic voices. She is the key to finding out if the tyrant is back and what that might mean for the interests pulling at the strings of human evolution. Is his golden path being fulfilled, or is mankind doomed? The Bene Gesserit are up to their usual witchcraft with the goal of protecting humanity from those groups that would suck humanity dry. Unfortunately, a group known as the Honored Maters has evolved more powerful forms of manipulation and control more forces than any other in the universe. They seek to wipe out the Bene Gesserit and anyone else that doesn't bend the knee to their form of tyranny. Luckily for the Bene Gesserit, that they have the most powerful descendants of the Atreides lineage among their ranks, and the power that those ancient genes have the potential to wield. This book was crazy complicated, and it was very difficult for me to get into it. It took almost half the book for my mind to start to grasp the new players, motivations, and all the connections to the previous books. Once these connections were made though, and the book became integrated into the canon of Dune lore, it all clicked. And I was once again mesmerized by the genius of Frank Herbert. It is hard to tell at first who to root for and who really matters. The new Duncan Idaho is younger than any from the previous books and is something to grasp onto as a connection to the previous books, but soon takes a backseat to the new characters who weave their way into the Dune canon as characters that are just as powerful, terrifying and heroic as any others in the series. If you are already into Dune to get this far in the series, then this book is worth the mind-bending trouble of nearly starting over in regards to the names and places that matter to the story. Once you get into it, the whole world is still there, just expanded from the previous. The influence of the actions of characters from day one of the series is still visible all the way into the future world of Heretics of Dune. Alright, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, thanks for joining me for this review of Heretics of Dune. That's a great book, they're all great. This one was one of the toughest ones to read because it just changes everything up, all the characters are different. But still worth it. And then next we're going to look at the last book, Chapterhouse Dune. Alright, thanks for watching. If you want to read all my book reviews, go to joesnotesblog.com. And if you want to buy Heretics of Dune, make sure to use my link in the description. Alright, that's going to do it. Thanks, and I'll see you next time. Having it do it. Alright. So quiet in here. I like it.
Hello and welcome to the Fictional Fracas News Report. I'm Flip Junket. On today's report, we're going to be talking to Flap O'Jacket, the resident Dune expert. He's going to be telling us his thoughts on Chapterhouse Dune, the last book in the Dune series. Flap O'Jacket's also going to give us his opinion on the series in general. The entire Dune series is going to tell us what he thinks about it. All right, let's go to Flap O'Jacket with his report on Chapterhouse Dune, the last book in the Dune series. Flap, take it away.
I love that.
Thanks, Flap. All right, let's go to our reporter in the field. Let's go to Flim Jim. What do you got for us, Flim? Okay, thank you, Flib. What a great report from the field. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to go ahead and go back to Flap O'Jacket, our resident Dune expert. Can you give us your opinion on the series in general, the entire thing? What do you think about Dune?
It's difficult. As much as I loved it, and I did, it's a confusing series in that it's super duper complex and it's a wee mindfuck. And there's time spans that go fucking thousands of years. So you have to fucking deal with that. I think my favorites are the first 4 books, and then it fucking gets crazy after that. On the whole, it's a bit difficult. It's difficult! But once you get into it, if you find that you like it, you'll just want to continue. It's got a lot of intrigue and mystery and suspense, and it really spans a great distance. It's very epic. You should definitely check out the Dune series. It's a great sci-fi series.
Thanks for your report, Flap. You are unflappable. Haha. Yes. All right, that's going to do it from all of us here at the Fictional Fracas News Report. Thanks again for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. And just a friendly reminder, make sure to go to joesnotesblog.com if you want to check out more reviews. That's a website. All right, and as I always say, you know it, my catchphrase, say it along with me, have a fictional day. Alrighty then, let's do this. Once in a while, we just go ahead and do stuff, and we don't even think too much about it. That's right. Alrighty then, everybody, we've got nasal action coming to you right here from the YouTubes. Make a comment down below. Tell us what you think about Dune. Do you like the series? Do you like the movie? Do you like the show? Do you like any of it? You like any of it? You like any of it? You like all of it? I don't know. I'm getting some reports. I'm getting a report here on my desk here. It's right there. It says go to joesnotesblog.com and check it out. I'm getting a report. This just in. Let me get a piece of paper to make it look like I just got something. Look at that. Okay, we got this new book here. It's called Birds of Oregon. Let's check it out. All right. This is a ruffed grouse. How do you like that? Is it going to fucking focus on it? You going to focus on it? No? Good. Good. Why would you? And as always, we like to end the day with a bird report from Birds of Oregon. And today's bird is going to be the pileated woodpecker. The pileated woodpecker. That's one of them red fucking ones there. Let me show you a little better. Here you go. This is a male That's a male pileated woodpecker. Pileated. Pileate this, bitch. Pileate your mom. Alrighty then. The size is 19 inches. It's a crow-sized woodpecker with a black back and bright red forehead. Crest and mustache, long gray bill, white leading edge of wings, flashes brightly during flight. Did you know that? Did you know that back there in the house's home? Kind of enjoy just reading in this voice and talking about birds. So, in the words of Jim Carrey in a movie once, alrighty then. Alrighty, that's going to do it for the Fictional Fracas news report. We talked a little bit about Dune, a little bit about Chapterhouse Dune, and we talked a little bit about the Dune series in general. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to give us a comment. Tell us what you think about Dune. Do you like Dune? Do you like the series? Do you like the movie? Do you like the series? Do you like the fucking show? Do you like any of that shit? And as always, why don't you snap into a Flim Jim? I was wondering if you could tell me what you thought about this fucking thing here.
That's great. That's great. As much as I loved it, it's still kind of confusing at times, and it's kind of a wee mind fuck, and I don't want to read it again. Oh, it's so great. I loved it, and I don't know if I can handle reading it again. It's difficult.